poison the atmosphere with all them hatred and greed, injustice and fear, cause them got no love, no love, no love in them heart. We see them God, no love in this world. May they lose them soul under mind control. Them jump on and got no love.
Damn, messed that shit up. Completely fucked it up. I played the wrong intro and everything.
That is the best intro, straight up.
It's funny, right? Oh, you know, before we start, then, if you like it, huh? You like it?
Sorry, go on.
I'm gonna show you the video. I'm gonna put the video up before we do, because I've been wanting to play this for a minute. And I was just like, but yeah, let me show this.
See, it's already started. The Sean Connery fucking blasphemy. But this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about, JG. Nobody thinks about it. Sean Connery is okay, go.
Let them know.
This is where I got it.
Between the song got no love, no love, no love in them hearts. You see them God, no love in this world. Many lose them soul under mind control. Between the song got no love, no love,
you know,
no love in them hearts. You see them God, no love at all.
Would this be a banging intro to a James Bond movie?
Hey,
like
they
if
got
they were
to
doing
really deal in righteousness, equality for the people, want peace and justice, freedom of choices and the right to take a stand against the great deception played upon the nation. Me no need no glasses to see that them no care them what we kill we ambition and spoil we career. Look how them poison the atmosphere with all them hatred and greed, injustice and fear, cause them got no love, no love, no love in them hearts. We see them God, no love in this world. Many lose them soul under mind control. Them jump on and got no love, no love, no love in them hearts. We see them God, no love at all. Little lion tongue rules over all and all and all. Yeah,
Connery, oh, he'll tell you that, Lion. But I'm with him. I'm Roger Moore guy.
You know,
you can't hear you.
Little lion tongue no local,
sound kind of
we
muffled.
international and we global. I'll tell you this, don't call we no local song this, cause we are ambassador in this business. Little lion tongue no local, we international and universal. I'll tell you this, don't call we no local song this. Little lion, Lord of the country, blaze up the chalice. Come make we rally in the name of cannabis, for it's the holy herb, ancient practice. Never label marijuana with the blackness. Little lion song, I burn Babylon, cause it's okay for man to marry man, and every day and ridicule the good ganja man. No wonder why the crime rate is on the land. The people need the trees to hold a meditation, and the working class what to eat them tension. Little lion song, burn them down. Don't call we local, we international and we global. I'll tell you this, don't call we no local sound. This little lion sound, now run this reggae business. No, we no local, we international and we global. Little lion sound, #1 sound.
And that's it.
Okay, so first of all, Onzo, banging tune.
What's that?
Okay, that's a banging tune.
Yeah, I love it. Fire.
But I was gonna say that can you hear me properly?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
They should use that as the intro of a James Bond movie, bro. I'm telling you, it's like back in the days of Live and Let Die, like that kind of like tune. Because I was.
Her voice is fucking amazing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nerdman just got quiet. Her voice is amazing. But yeah, I was gonna say, because what I was saying earlier, it's like I'm kind of with Nerdman on this one. I'm fucking Roger Moore all day, every day.
What?
Yeah, oh, hands down. Hands down. Roger
I mean,
Moore
I can see it. I can see it. He's just not my.
He's well, my favorite Bond is Pierce Brosnan.
Okay, I can see that.
Nerdman, you're muted if you're trying to talk. Okay, we can't hear you. Dandelion said that rock. Yeah, it's fire, man. When I first heard that, I was like, ooh, right? And I found it on Instagram, and then I switched it and I couldn't get it back. And then Roberto sent it to me. And then once Roberto sent it to me, I was able to find out her name, and then I was able to find that video. But yeah, she's fine.
Oh, by the way,
Okay, we can hear you now.
yeah. Did you hear what I said about that song being a banging intro for a James Bond movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I really think it would be.
I would
Because
agree with you 100%.
But in answer to Dandelion Fluff's
Question?
can you hear me?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
In answer to Dandelion Ruff, I want to hear what you have to say as well about this, Andre. So what do you mean you, Roger? See, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm fucking talking about.
Thank you.
The fucking propaganda is real. I would make more convincing James Bond than fucking than Sean Connery.
You will be the last on the casting list.
Well, I said this earlier, man. When you were gone, Nerd Man, I said I'm on your side. I like Roger Moore better than Sean Connery, but my favorite Bond is Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan's better than Sean. They're all better. Peter Sellers is better than Sean Connery.
Well, I don't know if
You reach it right there.
but I don't see why people like Sean Connery so much as Bond.
First of all, his movies aren't that good. You go back and watch them. Okay, they're not that great.
I
Okay.
agree.
Secondly, he's fucking Scottish. I don't understand why people don't get that you can't have a Scot outside of England. They don't understand it. I'm telling you, maybe you hear the Scottish accent and you hear British people and you just think we all sound the same or something. You're like listening to us and you're going, "What's he talking about? Bollocks, wanker? What's he saying?" But it's very, very distinct. And Sean Connery, I just can't believe that. It's like having a Superman who speaks with a Southern accent. It's like it's weird.
Well, I mean, I don't think I've ever really noticed an issue. But now that you're bringing it up, I may try and research it. There's an echo. I think it's for you, man.
You think?
Yeah, it just started echoing until you came back.
Yeah, it's from you. It's from you. But it's all good. He's gonna come back. He said, "Don't not all sound the same. Do not all sound the same." Yeah, no, I get you. I get you.
But my thing was this: I was asking Nerdman earlier.
Yeah.
Wasn't Scotland, the Ireland part of that whole English, Great Britain kind of thing they had together?
Go ahead, ask that again.
I don't know what's going on with this echo.
Yeah, it's Nerdman because I just muted him to see.
Okay. Wasn't Scotland and Ireland part of the whole, I don't know what it was called, but weren't they all together with Great Britain? The whole UK, that whole thing they had going on?
If you're talking about Commonwealth,
Yeah, Commonwealth, we want to call it. Yeah. And if they were, it would make sense for Sean Connery to be 007, but they were, they weren't separate at the time.
Yes, they're not separate, but
yeah, go ahead.
it's still going on, isn't it? What is going on? What? Wait, let me try something else. One second.
Timothy. You know what's funny? He may have been, but his Bond movies were good.
Yeah, the Bond movie was good, but he just wasn't.
He wasn't a Bond. No. I agree with that. But it's, for me, like I said, it's Pierce Brosnan. Because I used to love that show, Remington Steele.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Nerdman had to go and he's going to try and fix it. But I used to love Remington Steele. So when Pierce Brosnan became Bond, I was like, oh yeah. And I think GoldenEye is till this day still one of the best Bond movies ever.
I think he was a great combination of the suaveness and that I kick your ass for my country. You know, he's that great mix. Daniel Craig, I think Daniel Craig had the best movies. No, you look at Skyfall. I think it's one of my favorite movies. But you have
nope,
Casino Royale.
As soon as he came in, it's still echoing.
Saw that Sean Connery, blasphemy you were spitting.
Yeah, still echoing there, man.
You guys all sounded as well.
We're echoing too.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I'm
gonna try one more.
Or you leave, there's no more echo. So it's definitely in your end.
Are you using your phone? That might be it.
Could be, or whatever he's using. Maybe he needs headphones in. Who knows?
Yeah, like saying, like Skyfall and Casino Royale are two of my favorite Bond movies.
Oh, Skyfall is one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah.
Skyfall is so good.
Skyfall, I love this.
I hate Casino Royale though.
Really? Yeah, I can see that because it took a while for it to grow on me. So first of all, I wasn't sure about Daniel Craig being James Bond.
He was like a little bitch in that movie. I didn't like it. You know what I mean? You know, like this is James Bond. And then they did that stupid. She said back in the big, gotta get ready for work tomorrow. No problem, Dandelion. But they did that stupid, put his ass on a chair and was licking his nuts with that fuck. And I'm sorry, but you do that to the left. You do that to any man, and he is squealing like a pig. I am sorry, because I've had a baby just graze my nuts and that shit hurt. You know what I'm saying? So I can imagine what that felt like. No, I don't even want to be honest with you. I don't want to imagine. So
I mean, Sean Connery though, man. I mean, love him or not, man, he made people love James Bond.
I don't know.
You think about Goldfinger, I think that was the first Bond movie, man. That, whew.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. But if
what was wrong with Sean Connery besides the stiff fighting he was doing?
I don't know. For me, it just I found Roger Moore more appealing. You know what I mean?
Roger Moore was more smooth, charismatic.
You know what I mean?
Live and Let Die, probably my favorite Roger Moore movie. We're probably the best intro of a James Bond movie.
Yeah, I agree. Live and Let Die. That's the Tina Turner one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was fire. I agree. Oh, if Nerdman doesn't get his stuff fixed, we'll have to set this up for another day. But I already know it. Like for me, if GoldenEye doesn't win, this shit is fixed.
GoldenEye did revamp the whole Bond thing. It just, even the game alone, dude. We were in the dorms playing that game.
Oh yeah.
6, 7, 8 hours. Like
for sure.
You had to get that golden gun.
Oh yeah, for sure. That game would have you playing for hours. And I usually like first-person shooters and stuff like that. They give me headaches, but that one never did. And we used to play that every single day, constantly. Yeah, that game was nice. Well, it looks like people are waiting for the tournament. You guys are sitting here, you wanting the tournament to happen, and as long as Nerdman gets back in there, gets his stuff fixed, we will have it. I mean, for some reason, he wasn't echoing at first, but he ended up started echoing. It's already fixed. The Peter Sellers version of Casino Royale isn't listed. It might be, to be honest with you, Deej. It might be. But who's your favorite Bond, Deej? And man, if you up and you want to pop in, let me know, because we get this stuff going, we could definitely use another person. So I'll send you the link if you want to.
But I mean, you think about it, it's. Are we going by the best Bond or the best Bond movie?
Best James. Well, I guess the movies are on the list, right? So
yeah. So is there gonna be any bias when it comes to these? This, because I already know Nerdman's gonna, if he comes back, any Sean Connery movie, no, he gotta go.
Well, I mean, be honest. The tournaments we do, which one of them don't have bias in them? They all do, right?
That is.
They all do. We got like 3 people in the chat who are hashtagging Howard the Duck was robbed, right? And I agree with that 100%, because we had some haters on the panel that didn't understand the greatness of Howard the Duck. And it's funny too, because I don't think I saved it, but I had a meme and it had the Howard the Duck titties on there, and I was like, you see, that's what I'm talking about. This is it. Greatness at its finest, Yeah, Deej, I'll send you the link. I'm just gonna wait for Nerdman to come back. If he doesn't come back, then we'll set it up for another day. No problem. Like, this was just like something he was like, hey, let me if you guys want to do something. So I said, all right, I got a little bit of time before I gotta go to bed, so yeah, we can do something. But it was his idea, so he don't pop in then. I don't know why the hell he's taking so long.
Nerdman in different time zones, so
yeah, probably having an issue. So we'll just talk for a few minutes, and maybe I don't know. I could be free on Friday, so maybe we'll do a tournament on Friday.
Oh yeah, I'm down, definitely.
We'll see. It depends on how this weekend is, because we've been having some really bad weather over here recently, man. So anytime we get a nice day, I don't want to really stay in the house. But other than that, man, you guys missed the OOC today, go back and watch it. I think we had a great conversation. We talked about the brawl. We talked about some gun law stuff, and we just talked about stuff that I think was interesting. It was a pretty good show. Can't complain. Roberto probably won't be there next week either, because he said he has something to do this week and next week. So we'll see how next week goes. But yeah, Roberto will be with us for the next 2 weeks. Musicals and games was Rob too.
Oh, Morticia and Gomez.
Oh, Morticia and Gomez. Sorry, I didn't see that. Oh, no, they were not robbed. No. That was the right choice. They weren't robbed. I just have to send the link again. On. Sending it. It is sent. If it comes in and it's on and popping, then I'll send it to Deej, and we will get this tournament popping. I know Deej has good taste in the Bond movies. No, let me just send it to him now, just in case.
Okay. Nerdman says send it again.
Again?
Yep.
Jeez, I just sent it. Okay, hold on. I'm sending it to Deej. At least Deej will probably come in here and give us some. I sent it, Nerdman, like 2 times already. So check the Facebook. And I sent it to you as well, Deej. Deej is in the house. What up, Deej?
What up, Deej?
I'm Bond. Deej Bond.
Who's your favorite Bond, Deej?
No yelling. No yelling.
Who's that?
I am kind of a Roger Moore.
Oh yeah,
I just don't get it, bro. I just don't.
100%.
Roger Moore is the
Now-
man. That's why. Go.
Sean Connery had really good movies, but my age group grew up with Roger Moore, so
Absolutely.
No, but it's
Right.
not. No. Sean Connery has overrated movies, bro. He
Are
made,
you
like,
serious, nerd man?
He had two good ones.
Name them.
Name them. Can't even name them. Huh?
No, I'm saying if you go back and watch them,
I watched all of them. What are your two? You say you only had two good ones.
what was it? Goldfinger, and then there's the what's the one with so Goldfinger is definitely one of them, and then
That's
it's the
the first
one
one.
with the first thing of Blofeld from Russia with Love.
What?
From Russia
Oh,
with
Russia
Love.
with Love. Okay.
I
Russia
think
with Love
it's
is
from
probably
Russia.
my least favorite Sean Connery movie.
But
Bond movie.
The problem is, again, he speaks with it, and I heard what you said that Scotland is part of England, but that isn't the point. It's the fact that he sounds not posh. James Bond is supposed to be quintessential English, Oxford educated gentleman. He's supposed to be posh. That's my problem with him. All the other James Bonds, apart from maybe Peter Sellers, sound like they're really, really posh people. I don't know if you noticed that.
Well, I mean, I don't speak to many British people except for you. So, not trying to be all arrogant, but how does a posh Scottish person sound?
Sorry? Say again?
How does a posh Scottish person sound?
Like
Think of the
Nerdman.
Queen. Think of how the Queen or the royal family speak. That's how James Bond is supposed to speak.
Are they Scottish?
Or who's Scottish?
The Royal Crown.
The royal family? No, they're not. Well, they are.
That's why I asked. Okay, but they've been in Britain for so long that they adopted that British, that what we know now, that British accent. What I'm saying is James Bond, or Sean Connery, is Scottish. How would a Scottish posh person sound?
Not like Sean Connery.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. That's what I was saying.
Like a Scot. I mean, I suppose you could have a Scottish posh person, but it doesn't. It's kind of a contradiction. It's like having a posh Cockney person. It just doesn't really work. I mean, the best you could do is that maybe they have a hint of a Scottish accent, but they're speaking the Queen's English, and he does not. And that it takes me out of it. So not only, and I could forgive that if his movies were amazing the way people say they are, but they're not amazing. I would take what's it called? I would rather watch The Man with the Golden Gun or The Spy Who Loved Me than any Sean Connery movie.
Right. So let's
okay. What about Dr. No? You only live twice.
I'd rather watch. And tell me if I'm wrong about this, Deej. Am I wrong here? And Onzo, wouldn't you rather put on The Spy Who Loved Me than any Sean Connery movie?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I probably would. Sean Connery, like I said, it just didn't really do it for me. Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, those are my bonds. But listen, we have the first one.
Yeah, we have to go.
We have The Living Daylights versus License to Kill. So, Nerdman, you start.
Oh, that is difficult. So, License to Kill. Wait a second. Those are both Dalton movies.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna do that? You're gonna be like that to Dalton, bro? That's cold-hearted,
It's not
man.
my fault. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
How it came out. That sucks, dude. Because Dalton's my boy as well. Dalton's my my second favorite. All right. I'd have to go License to Kill. The Living Daylights is a little bit hard to get into. It's good, but License to Kill is sick.
Deej?
Yeah, License to Kill was the better of the two.
JG?
License to Kill.
And I too will go with License to Kill. So License to Kill moves on for that one.
That's bad though, man. What was the first one you did?
That was the first one.
Oh, that was the first one. Okay.
Yeah, that was the first one. Next up is Live and Let Die versus Spectrum. Ooh. Go ahead.
So Live and Let Die is that's Roger Moore. Remind me who's in that? The villain.
Live and Let Die is Roger Moore. Spectre is Daniel Craig.
No, I know Spectre's Daniel Craig. Who's the villain of Live and Let Die? Is it the Jamaican?
Yeah, the black guy, the voodoo guy.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going Live and Let Die. I think Daniel Craig, we'll talk about him later, but I've got another controversial view on Daniel Craig. But yeah, definitely Live and Let Die.
JG?
Oh, this may make Nerdman happy. I'm going with Live and Let Die. I thought Spectre was a little overrated to me.
Deej?
Live and Let Die, the better soundtrack.
And I too went with Live and Let Die. Wasn't a big fan of Spectrum, to be honest with you.
I think Daniel Craig basically has he's been slipping ever since the first one. And I think the big mistake they made, I thought Skyfall was. We'll talk about it when we get to Skyfall, but like,
Man with the Golden Gun versus Skyfall.
I'm going Man with the Golden Gun. And I'm gonna. Can I defend this for just a second? Just
if
in
you
case.
can.
All right. So first of all, Christopher Lee is in the top 10 Bond villains, top 5 Bond villains of all time. The little guy, the henchman, is in the top 10 of the henchmen of all time. He was fantastic. Yes, it has some silly parts, but Christopher Lee alone holds that movie up, and it's one of Roger Moore's best performances as James Bond, who is actually, he's not the best James Bond. He is James Bond, Roger Moore. When I look at Roger Moore, I don't see an imitation. I see James Bond purely. Skyfall, very, very quickly. He's been slipping ever since the first movie. It's not Daniel Craig's fault. He is still one of the best Bonds. But this Bond movie was the first where I was like, first of all, you're continuing the story. And I think that didn't work for his James Bond series. They should have just did it as single films like the rest of the James Bond. And then secondly, it took everything that was special about the first Bond movie he did and erased it because it made him a super Bond, whereas he was very, very human in the first movie. So we'll talk about that. Anybody can respond to me on that, like while they're doing it. So that's me finished.
JG?
I'm gonna go with Skyfall and let me explain to Nerdman what a really good James Bond movie is. You have, okay. I'm just messing with you, man. You have a well-written story. You have a really good villain who is kind of a rogue former agent coming back for some form of vengeance, which I thought who knew every move James Bond would make. You have a James Bond he's more human, of course. Kind of like what you're saying, he's slipping, right? Could be some form of PTSD or something where he has to go through this training all over again, right? And they mentioned Skyfall in that little room he was in. He goes, done. He walks off. He's still struggling. He's an older James Bond as well. But so it was, and towards the end of the movie, he can't rely on the gadgets anymore, right? He has to kind of like what Iron Man did. What was it, 3? Where he didn't have a suit. He had kind of around his intelligence. Similar to Skyfall, he had to rely on. He couldn't rely on gadgets anymore. And I thought that it was just brilliantly done from beginning to end. I was on the edge of my seat. Great casting. I mean, Skyfall.
Can I ask Gonzo what Deej, Yeah, go on.
I'm going with Man with the Golden Gun just because
Oh,
it was
you
relief.
he never should have invited you here.
It's very true.
How the hell does a man with the golden gun beat out Skyfall? I would never know.
It's true.
Yeah, unfortunately, you were right, because if Deej wasn't here, Skyfall would have been moving on to the next round, because I am taking Skyfall. So I have 5 people in the chat. I want to see what you guys pick over there. I'm not going to put up a timer or anything. So who you guys taking? Man with the Golden Gun or Skyfall? Oscar winning duck. Who you taking?
Okay. Can I continue? So, JG, I think the points you made are valid, right? I don't think Skyfall is his worst, one of the really bad ones. I thought it was a little bit of a drop in quality from the last one. But what was the last one called? It was called what was the first one he did?
The last one he just did? Casino Royale, and the last one
Casino Royale was a special movie. That is a James. If anybody asks me who's not a James Bond fan, what James Bond movie to watch, I would say that one. That is a fantastic movie, bro. From beginning to end, you don't have to.
Oscar and it's Man with the Golden Gun. So
fantastic. Thank you. Thank you,
Oscar.
And JG, can you just reply to my point just before we go on? Do you not think there is a substantial change in, like, he starts making quips in this movie in Skyfall? Like, he wasn't quippy in the first one. He's very quippy in the second one. They start using the gadgets again. He wasn't using the gadgets in the first one. There was a whole bunch of stuff that made him more human and more like they took away all the special sauce from the first one. It was still a good movie, Skyfall, but they took away some of the special sauce from this first one, and it just became a bit more of a typical James Bond movie than that first one.
I would agree, but I would also add that I think with the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, they tried to make it a little more realistic.
But so they moved away from that.
Exactly. I can get it. Like, it kind of takes away from the mystique of who. It's almost like you making a realistic Batman without the gadgets he had in other movies. Right.
Moving on, guys. Next one.
Okay. Moving on. Sorry.
Next one is Octopussy versus The World Is Not Enough. Deej.
Octopussy.
JG.
Octopussy.
Nerdman.
Yeah, this is the only one I'd vote Octopussy on. Because the world
I too am going Octopussy on that one. I like Octopussy though.
Yeah, it gets a bit hated because of the clown stuff, but yeah, it's still not great.
It's a good one. I don't mind it. Next up is For Your Eyes Only versus Die Another Day. JG.
For Your Eyes Only.
Deej.
For Your Eyes Only.
Nerdman.
Which one is For Your Eyes Only?
This posh British man gonna ask us which one is the one For Your Eyes Only.
I know, I'm just trying to remember. I know them all, but like, is that the one where he's really old, like Roger Moore's really old, or is this the Sean Connery one with the?
He's Roger Moore. He's old.
It's Roger Moore.
It's Roger Moore. He's old, and it's the one before the really good one when he's old. He's writing. Fuck! I'm just trying to remember it. Give me a second. Whoever hasn't voted, vote.
I'm going with For Your Eyes Only. I like that.
I don't even. I literally can't remember it. I know it's better than Die Another Day anyway. So For Your Eyes Only.
And For Your Eyes Only moves on to
one of the ones I hate the most of Roger Moore's, but because he has some really bad movies.
Yeah, but some of the Bond movies, like even Sean Connery's, are like horrible too. So next up is View to a Kill versus GoldenEye. Deej, you go
This
first.
is hard.
I'm going with View to a Kill because it's actually the first Bond movie I watched in the theater.
Is it better than GoldenEye?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I can see it. I'm going with GoldenEye though, but I can see it.
Nerdman.
This is fucking difficult because I love what's his name, Christopher Walken in A View to a Kill. He's amazing. That's one of the good things about the Roger Moore movies. It has some really iconic villains, even if the film is shit. The villains themselves just make the movie. So,
well, it also had Grace Jones as Mayday, and she was like a badass in that movie.
Yeah, but her Roger Moore did.
And Tanya Roberts.
Ah, man, I'm gonna have to go GoldenEye. I'm sorry, Deej, because it is the best Pierce Brosnan movie, and it's quintessential Pierce Brosnan. It's too good, even
and
for
I
a View
too am going GoldenEye on that one. So GoldenEye does move on to the next round, as it should. Next up is Diamonds Are Forever versus No Time to Die.
See, this is where Sean Connery gets caught slipping in this Diamonds Are Forever business. And that's what I'm talking about. They worship this fucking guy, and he made movies like this, and he didn't make that many movies. Half his movies were bad.
Well, who are you taking, Nerdman? Then go ahead. Nerdman is muted again. Deej.
Well, I'm definitely not taking Diamonds Are Forever. No.
Okay. JG, excuse me.
I am taking Diamonds Are Forever.
Shit.
I did love what's her name in No Time to Die though. She was.
I am taking Diamonds Are Forever as well. So whenever Nerdman gets
well, you know he's taking No Time to Die.
Diamonds can't get through that. The only live twice. Diamonds Are Forever.
Oh no, Keely Chow says Diamonds Are Forever too, so we might get away with this one.
We might. Depends on what Nerdman picks if he ever comes back.
Darn you, Keely.
Now, listen, man. That last Bond movie, it just didn't do it for me. You know what I mean? I wasn't feeling it at all. Nerdman?
Well, my internet connection is on some bullshit today, bro.
You sound good.
It's just on some bullshit. All right. No Time to Die sucks though. So
what?
Yeah, it does.
It
does suck. I was shocked. Never go
on.
I would still rather watch No Time to Die than Diamonds Are Forever. I'm sorry.
So you're taking
too rough, man. Like at least No Time to Die has like modern action scenes. So
all right, guys in the chat, the 5 people in there, let me know who you guys are taking so that we can have one of them move on.
Come on, Keely.
Keely Chow, who are you taking?
Look,
Keely
I can
Chow
understand.
already said Diamonds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If people say Diamonds Are Forever, I completely understand though. Who else?
Oscar went with No Time.
Oscar.
Who else? Who else said Diamonds Are Forever?
I did.
Me and JG.
Oh.
And I see Diamonds, and I see No Time to Die. So both of these guys, so it's still tied. So we need one more person to pick, guys. One more person. Or else I'm just gonna have to pick. So, given 5 seconds, and then I'm gonna move on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Diamonds Are Forever moves on.
Who said Diamonds? Oh, you picked Diamonds Are Forever.
I did.
Really? Why didn't you do Heads or Tails?
I could have done that, but I'm gonna go with Diamonds Are Forever,
wouldn't it?
I'm gonna go with that. I'll do Heads or Tails on the next one. I didn't think about it. Next up is The Spy Who Loved Me versus Quantum of Solace. Go ahead, Nerdman.
I'm one of the few people who I actually don't mind Quantum of Solace. I like Quantum of Solace better than the last two movies that Daniel Craig did.
Okay.
That being said, The Spy Who Loved Me is way better. Quantum of Solace is a mess. Not a good acting though.
Spy Who Loved Me and Barbara Bach.
JG.
Quantum Solace.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude, the best scene in that Spy Who Loved Me when he was in that freaking tent with all those women on. That, other than that, I didn't care less about that movie.
You don't know what The Spy Who Loved Me is. No, wait
Wasn't
a second.
he like a sheik or well, something like that?
The Spy Who Loved Me, where he jumps off the slope with the British, and he jumps into the British flag like on his parachute.
Oh my god!
The one with the car, underwater.
I know what you're talking about. Still, Quantum Solace.
Yeah.
You fucking kidding me, bro?
It's okay.
Get him out of here. Get him the
No,
fuck
okay.
out.
We still win. We still win. Quantum of Solace still gets knocked out. Don't worry. I picked.
First, it's get rid of me. Now it's get rid of JG.
You know. Never Say Never Again versus Tomorrow Never Dies. Go ahead, Deej.
Never Say Never Again. The one Sean Connery Bond film that I actually did like.
Nerd Man.
Remind me, which one is that? Is that the one with those two psychopaths? There's like a bald guy who looks like a dentist who's like fighting Sean Connery. It's like when he was like older, right?
Yeah, it's the one where he came back while Roger Moore was Bond.
Right. And he has these two very weird psychopathic guys who are like after him, basically, like henchmen who look like mad scientists and shit.
I think so.
Yeah. I actually think that, I mean, again, it sucks. It's Sean Connery, and I don't know why he gets away with it. Tomorrow Never Dies is Pierce Brosnan, right?
Yeah.
And we've already done Tomorrow Never Dies, right?
Who?
I thought we'd seen that. It's not a duplicate. Yeah, they're both pretty bad. Oh yes, I know. It's the one with Robert Carlyle. Okay, so I'll go Tomorrow Never Dies.
JG?
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Never Say Never Again is one of my least favorite. Tomorrow Never Dies moves on to the next round. Good job. Next up is Moonraker versus Casino Royale. This is easy for me. I'm going first. Moonraker.
Shut the fuck up. See, he's always got these hot takes, bro. Just call yourself hot takes.
You know what? Let me go with Deej first, because I know Deej is going to second me. Deej.
Yeah, Moonraker. Jaws finally gets laid.
Damn right.
All right. Stream over. Look, it's the best James Bond movie, period, is Casino Royale. Period. If you're just talking just general as a movie, the best James Bond movie ever made is Casino Royale.
But Casino Royale is also the worst Bond movie ever made.
Facts.
Because if you look at it with the Peter Sellers version, that was the worst one because it was a comedy.
That's not the Casino Royale we're talking about. We're talking about.
I know, but I just throwing that out there because I don't think the other one will make it on the list.
Okay, so your argument is that because it's the best one, it's the worst one?
No, my argument is I just like Jaws got laid finally, so Moonraker is why I love that one with the cheesy lasers and space shuttles. And
you know,
it's terrible.
You know? I'm right there with you. So Nerdman, you're taking Casino Royale, JG.
Of course, it's the best James Bond movie
Casino
ever.
Royale.
Oh, JG, you're disappointed. You need to go.
Moonraker is horrible. Horrible.
You need to go. All right, let me see what the chat is saying. Oscar said Moonraker is chat, and Keely Chow said Moonraker. So again, we have another disagreement and tie in the chat. So I guess I will flip a coin.
I don't trust that coin.
And seeing as that you guys can't see, so what are we taking? Heads for Moonraker? Tails for Casino
Yeah,
Royale?
heads
Yeah.
for Moonraker because Jaws got some.
Exactly. And I just lost my quarter. Hold on.
Sure, he lost his quarter. Probably had no tails.
Oh my gosh. I lost that one too. They all fucking flew under my couch.
No, they were both tails. That's what happened.
We just lost Nerd
You
Man.
don't keep flipping into the tail.
Nerdman just came back. Okay. So I just flipped it. And it is tails.
Thank you.
Fucking garbage.
Wait a second. Somebody voted again for Moonraker. Stop doing
I
it.
did.
Stop trying to
I
burn
did.
civilization.
I thought Casino Royale was tails.
This is what's happening with the modern day youth of today. They're trying to burn civilization down, and this is the problem. It's this kind of nihilism that is leading to the destruction of the earth.
I flipped the coin. I flipped the coin, and I was fair because Casino Royale won and moved
Listen,
on.
I'm talking about you anarchists who can't accept the rule of law.
But
This is
I
this is
swear, Casino Royale is not passing much further. Next up, Dr. No versus License to Kill. Third man?
oh, it's a license to kill. Easily.
JG?
Dr. No. Fight me.
Oh my god. D?
Dr. No.
Yes.
Oh my
We
God.
finally agree on.
Oh my god. I'm going with License to Kill on this one. So let's see
It's
what
a
chat
boring
says.
movie. Dr. No is overrated again. It's boring in comparison to a License to Kill.
Well, I see License to Kill. Dr. No bores me. Keely Chow said he likes both. So I'm going to go with Oscar and License to Kill moves on.
Yes.
Next
My boy,
up,
Timothy
Live
Dalton.
and Let Die versus the man with the golden gun. JG.
Live and Let Die. It's my favorite Roger Moore movie.
Nerd
Bond movie, anyway.
I've got to go the man with the golden gun. Chris Lee, you can't beat him.
Deej.
Live and Let Die.
Really? Wow.
And I too am going with Live and Let Die.
Yes.
Live and Let Die.
Wow. I'm surprised by that. No love for the man with the golden gun. Yeah.
It's all right. Next up, Thunderball, versus Octopussy. Deej.
Octopussy. Thunderball sucked.
Nerdman.
Yeah, Octopussy. Octopussy's getting easy, right?
JG.
Yeah, it is.
Octopussy.
You better say Octopussy on this one. And I too am going with Octopussy, so Octopussy does move on to the next round. Next up, we have. Sorry.
Do you think they did that
twice?
It's being called Octopussy. I mean, that's a little bit on the nose, isn't it?
Little what? I couldn't hear you.
I was saying it's a little bit on the nose calling it Octopussy. I was always like, did they do that on purpose? Calling it Octopussy because like James Bond's always trying to get like pussy, but like
well, come on.
Women have weird names like Pussy Galore.
Yeah, Pussy Galore there.
It's like,
and then
he's like, I must be dreaming.
Pussy Galore too?
Yeah, he responded by, I must be dreaming.
Yeah, he banged it too. James Bond was banging all the chicks. Good job. Next up is You Only Live Twice versus For Your Eyes Only. Dude, let's go with Deej on this one.
For Your Eyes Only.
Oh my god.
JG?
You only live twice, man. Japan, they doing the whole karate stuff, man. Come on.
Nerd man?
wait, which one is the You Only Live Twice? Is what?
He was in Japan. He was they thought they killed him in the beginning. He was alive. He goes to Japan. Or an island off of Japan.
Moore. Is that Roger Moore? You Only Live Twice?
Yeah, it's Roger Moore.
Fuck, why have I forgotten that one? For your
That
eyes,
one you forgot so far.
I don't even know. For your eyes, I know the song, but I can't. Okay, yeah, that's the one where he's in the little car. Yeah, okay. You only live twice.
You only live twice.
That's a
And
Sean
I'm
Connery
going
movie.
with
Listen up.
For Your Eyes Only. And I see.
You know what,
Kilo
Oscar? I'm sick
Chow
of you.
said-
I'm sick of you voting.
Oscar
Always
said,
voting
you
against
only live twice. So
Keely,
you
you
only
like
live,
everything. You like both of everything.
Wait.
you
Well,
only
stop
live.
fucking tricking me. Sorry. For your eyes only. For your eyes only. I'm sorry. He tricked me. I knew
No,
it was
no changes. No changes. No changes.
For Your Eyes Only moves on to the next round.
I knew it was the Sean Connery shit.
Next up is From Russia with Love versus GoldenEye. I'm going
GoldenEye.
first. GoldenEye, Nerdman said GoldenEye. JG
GoldenEye.
and Deej.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye does move on to the next round, as it should be. Next up, Diamonds Are Forever versus The Spy Who Loved Me. Let's go Deej on this one.
Spy Who Loved Me.
The Spy Who Loved Me. Nerdman.
Spy loved me.
JG.
Diamonds Are Forever.
The Spy Who Loved Me. Next
There you
up,
go, bro.
Goldfinger. Jesus, I want to say Goldfinger. Goldfinger versus Tomorrow Never Dies. Deej.
Well, I got to go with Pussy Galore. Goldfinger.
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 Nerdman.
Tomorrow
JG.
never dies. Disgrace.
Goldfinger.
I'm going with Tomorrow Never Dies, but Goldfinger does move on to the next
That's
round.
the one with Kelly Berry, right? Tomorrow never dies.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a disgrace.
Yeah. but Holly Berry coming out the water beats anything. You know what I mean? So
I see
yeah.
that.
It's one scene though, bro.
yeah, I'm fine. I'm good with it. Next up, On Her Majesty's Secret Service versus Casino Royale. I'm going first on Her Majesty's
Fuck off. See,
Secret
this is
Service.
what
Exactly.
this is a disgrace.
Come on, Deej. Who are you taking?
I'm going Casino Royale because I'm not going for a guy that had a one-off.
Nerdman?
Casino Royale, as it should. As it should.
JG?
Wasn't that one the one James Bond movie where he seen get married?
Yeah.
It was an
Casino
Australian
Royale?
playing James Bond, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no. On Her Majesty, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Casino Royale. That other one was, I don't know what that was.
You fucking niggas suck. Oh my god. Get this Casino Royale out of here. I don't want it in the top 3 at all. Not even close. Next up, License to Kill versus Live and Let Die. Nerdman.
Ooh. That's hard. License to Kill. Still.
Ooh. JG?
I'm going with Live and Let Die.
Deej.
Live and Let Die.
Fuck.
And I'm going
No.
with License to Kill on this one.
Yes.
Oscar. This band Oscar from the chat. I'm sick of
Oscar
his
said
votes.
license.
Always the
as
opposite
well.
of what I want.
So Oscar says license moves on. Good job, Oscar.
Bad
You're on
job.
point tonight, brother. You're on point. Next up, Octopussy versus For Your Eyes Only. Nerdman. And if you want to say some things, you can. You know, I still got a little bit of time. So
I don't want to say anything on this. I would have said something on the last one, but I'm glad license went through. I don't know. For your eyes only, again, is that stupid Sean Connery run, right? No, it's Roger Moore with a little car. Octopussy.
you saying Octopussy?
Yeah.
Nerdman said Octopussy. Deej?
Octopussy.
JG?
Octopussy.
And I too will go with Octopussy on
It was
that one.
that was the only problem with Roger Moore. He was too old, like towards the end, man. I just wasn't feeling him when he was like old.
I got
Didn't
you. Ooh, GoldenEye versus The Spy Who Loved Me. Well, I'm going first on this one. I'm going with GoldenEye. JG?
GoldenEye.
Am I going to be the only one here who speaks up for the truth? The Spy Who Loved Me, bro. That movie is classic. It's one of the top 4 Bond movies, man. GoldenEye is sick, but The Spy Who Loved Me just has a special place in my heart. That's what made me fall in love with James Bond.
Deej?
And we're tied because I'm going with The Spy Who Loved Me too.
Son of a bitch. Oh my God, Deej does not need to be here. And
now Hanzo wants to kick me.
Oh my God.
Oscar.
Wait.
Oscar.
Let's talk about the merits here. It's got one of the hottest chicks. It's got the best James Bond car. It drives under fucking water, bro. It's got
just like that Fast Furious movie when they're driving the car into space. Makes no freaking sense.
It doesn't. Come on. That's not even close to equivalent. It's a car that can drive underwater. That's not like close to equivalent. So,
which is GoldenEye is the better movie. Is the better movie.
And you know what?
GoldenEye isn't the better movie.
Since there's only 4 of us here, I'm picking this one and I'm going with GoldenEye. GoldenEye moves on to the next one.
No. Oscar's a Spy for me.
Yeah, that's because Oscar was going with Spy for that one.
The Oscar's not on the panel, really, so you know what I mean?
No, wait. No.
Wants the chat to do it when it's in his favor, but now the chat's against him. Yeah, now he's just saying, nope, we're going to do
page that shit. That's the Spy.
It's hard, it's getting late and I'm trying to go to bed. That's what I was saying.
Alright, I will be fair.
Bro.
Don't be fair. You don't have to be fair.
I'll be fair. Unfortunately. All right. Next up. Goldfinger versus Casino Royale.
Don't do it.
I'm going with Goldfinger.
Everyone knows Casino Royale's better.
Well, somebody's going to yell for me to be kicked from the panel because I'm going with Goldfinger.
Yes.
Fuck
yes.
You guys,
JG.
Ooh. You know what?
Don't fuck around, JG.
JG, come on, bro. Mads Mikkelsen.
I don't know. This is
hard. Come on, when you see the ball in the balls, that's one of the best Bond scenes of all time.
You will be banned, JG.
But Goldfinger, man, that was the one that got me. That was the first one that then he walks in, she butt naked on the bed, covered in gold and stuff.
If you had to watch one right now, come on, you know you'd watch fucking.
You can go ahead and let it tie up because Oscar's already said Goldfinger. So
no,
you know what? I'm gonna go Goldfinger. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's tough. Goldfinger, I watched beginning. Casino Royale, I have to watch. I watch it.
You're all lying to yourselves because you know you took up.
Goldfinger was gonna win either way.
Come on, bro. Poker. That's one of not only one of the best Bond movies. It's one of the best poker movies as well. You guys are.
He's always playing poker. I'm damn. Who started the poker game? Bond. That was Sean Connery.
You know,
Martini shaking. That's
this one was centered around the poker game. It's different with Connery. Connery had like a little, he had a scene where he's playing.
You talk about hitting in the balls. Sean Connery strapped to a little thing with a laser, finna cut his lasers all his balls off.
Yeah, whatever, bro. It's a good movie. It's a good movie, but like it ain't no fucking Casino Royale.
Oh, you guys did good on that one. Thank you very much. Much apprecited. I don't feel bad about GoldenEye too much anymore, so I'm good. Next up, we have License to Kill versus Octopussy.
License to Kill.
Nerdman said License to Kill. JG?
Octopussy.
Deej?
I'm not sure on this one. Gonna have to go with like Octopussy.
What the fuck up?
And
Why
I'm
are you
going with
doing? Okay, good.
License to Kill. So now let's see what Oscar is saying in the chat. Oscar, what are you saying?
All up to you, Oscar.
So
He's gonna go opposite of, you know.
The Oscar goes to.
Keep saying License to Kill this whole time.
I asked my dad
Oh.
how I'm gonna make babies with no balls. He laughed and said it'll be okay, and Bond got out. Well, yeah.
Yeah, when I
that's
tell
the
you he's gonna
one
pick License,
Right.
he been saying
thing.
License the whole chat.
Good job.
I was gonna say my two favorite movies getting kicked out. That would have sucked. Those two are the best as movies: License to Kill and Casino Royale. Oh, just
No. Hold on. We're talking about GoldenEye and License to Kill.
GoldenEye as well should be in there. I'm not sorry.
Absolutely.
GoldenEye should be in there. Absolutely. There are like a few Bond movies where I'll just be like, okay, anybody can watch this. GoldenEye is one of them, and so is The Spy Who Loved Me. So I'm picking The Spy Who Loved Me over Goldfinger. I'm sorry.
Deej?
Yeah, when it comes down to this one, I got to go with The Spy.
Thank
Ooh.
God.
JG.
Goldfinger.
You are such a. Why don't you just go and suck his dick?
I'm gonna go with Goldfinger on this one too as well. So Oscar, it's up to you again, brother. I mean, there's 7 people in here, so if you guys want to go in too, you know what I mean? But I'll let Oscar, whoever comes up with the first one, whoever gives me the first one, that's the one that's moving on.
Yeah.
You know,
Spy for
I'm
me.
so sick of Oscar. I'm really
I
tired.
don't think I've ever been so happy in my life.
Spy Who Loves Me.
Real
So now
James
we
Bond.
have the bronze medal, which is Octopussy versus Goldenfinger. Deej.
Goldfinger.
Nerdman.
The fact that Octopussy's still in this is a disgrace, to be honest. So I have to go Goldfinger on this. I'll give Sean his props on this one movie.
Deej. I mean, JG.
Give me props for this woman.
Who you
Goldfinger.
taking?
Goldfinger.
I'm going with Octopussy on this one.
What is your thing with Octopussy, man? It's like it's not that good a movie. Like it
It's
really
like
is
pussy over again, over and over and over again.
so
I like
campy.
Octopussy. And now for the championship round, which I don't like, but
It's
License to Kill is the Timothy Dalton one, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
How the fuck does the Timothy Dalton
I
one
have no
make it to
fucking
the final?
idea. Oh, I know. Oscar.
Yeah, all Oscar's fault.
Wait a second. Are we dissing Timothy Dalton here? Is that what we're doing here? Timothy
Timothy
Dalton,
Timothy Dalton was good, but he wasn't. I mean, come on.
he's
Timothy
the most
Dalton
underrated.
was okay.
He's
But-
better than Pierce Brosnan.
No, he is not. Get the fuck
No,
out of
he's
here.
not.
Better than Pierce Brosnan.
No,
He-
he's not.
He basically
No, he's not.
made the Casino Royale before Casino
Okay,
Royale
I'll be
came
right.
out.
No,
That-
he's
that-
not.
He is the most
He-
evil looking James Bond out of all of them.
He was way
Looks
before
like
his
he's a
time.
villain.
Timothy
No,
Dalton
no.
made a better Time Lord than he did a James Bond.
Shut up. Bullshit, man. He was actually a realistic fucking James Bond. It was not all of the weird, campy stuff that. You got with
Whoa. You just got
Connery,
to giving
Rushmore,
Daniel Craig trash
back to the
because
book.
he didn't have all the gadgets. He was more realistic. Now you saying Timothy Dalton was good because he was more realistic.
What? When did I say like being?
You said it early on.
I'm saying he was more like the James Bond books. If you go and read the books, Timothy Dalton's James Bond is well, not that I've read the books, but this is what I've been told.
What are you talking about? He's just like,
You're talking about reading the books. He ain't reading no damn books. I hear with that.
oh, LeBron James over here talking about he read the book and upside down and shit. I really don't.
Because everyone always uses that as an excuse, and then they've never read the books. But the point is, I did look at a little bit of the tone of the books, and I'm telling you, That's what License to Kill is. It's more the tone of those books.
How do you know you haven't read it?
Because I've listened to audiobook kind of version.
I have. Is it just me or does that sound like bullshit?
I didn't finish it because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't finish it, but I did listen to the book for a little bit, just like just because I was intrigued.
Mm-hmm. Well, championship round. Go ahead, Norman.
Even without that, like forget the books. That is just a really cool idea for a James Bond movie. He loses his license to kill and just goes on a revenge mission. And it's just like, it's easy to watch. The villains are cool. The deaths are cool. You know, it's James Bond off the, you know, like Unchained, essentially, on just a revenge mission. And I think it's a really, really good movie. I don't know. That being said, I still think The Spy Who Loved Me is better. After all that, I'm picking The Spy Who Loved Me.
Like a fart in the wind, exactly, 100%. Robert Duvall is a good villain and overlooked IMO. All right, so you said License to Kill you're taking?
No, I'm taking The Spy Who Loved Me.
The Spy Who Loved Me. Deej?
I was just defending still being here.
Go ahead, Deej.
Spy Who Loved Me.
JG?
Can't believe I'm doing this. The Spy Who Loved Me.
And I think I will go with The Spy Who Loved. No, you know what? I'm gonna give License to Kill a vote. It shouldn't be there, but I'm gonna give it a vote.
Neither one of these two should be up there. Oscar.
Why do you say it shouldn't be there? You've voted for it every time. Why do you say that?
That was the first time I ever voted for a Spy Who Loved Me.
No, I'm talking about Umzo. You just said that License to Kill shouldn't be there, but you voted for it every time. It's because you know.
Hold on.
Because, whoa. I was gonna say License.
Because of all the ones that went up against, I think it's.
You know what? I'm changing my vote. License to Kill.
Why?
Because he's seen that Oscar says License, and he wants License to win now.
Never mind. He said both are good. Never mind.
Both are good though, but he said License. But you know what? We'll keep it the way it is. You know what I mean? Looks like it's A Spy Who Loved Me, which I don't understand.
I think that's a worthy winner. I'm sorry. That is a very, very worthy winner. The Spy Who Loved Me, License to Kill.
That is a horrible.
How it should be in the book.
I'm with you on that one. I think I'm gonna have to do this one over again.
Yeah,
we
this
have
is
a
horrible.
whole panel, and we'll get the real winners on this, which will probably.
Who do you think should be the real winner then?
GoldenEye.
I can deal with that.
You are fucking sick in the head. GoldenEye should be like 3. Like number 3, 4, maybe.
GoldenEye is the best Bond movie ever.
No, you've got Spy Who Loved Me, first of all, which is way better. But
yeah, because I got
a couple of Roger Moore movies that beat up GoldenEye. Are you kidding me?
None.
There
The
is.
only thing that make Roger Moore movies good is the music and the girls. Other than that, he's just no. I'm sorry.
He's okay. Who pulls off the quips better? Because what's his name? This lady
pulls off the clips better.
Shut up, bro.
He does.
Up, bro.
He does. 100% he does.
Bond when it comes to quips.
100% he does.
Absolutely.
100% he does.
Absolutely not. Roger Moore basically winked at the camera every time he did a joke, and it still
was so freaking cheesy.
Exactly, but that's the thing about him. He's the only.
I don't want my James Bond cheesy. It's like watching
come on,
all over again.
They even had Roger Moore back in the Cannonball Run playing Bond, basically.
Exactly. Because it was what? Cheesy, right? Exactly.
No, but because he can do that shit, he's the only one who can get the humor out of Bond. And it
I don't
actually
want my Bond humorous.
The rest of the Bonds, it's like it's awkward. Pierce Brosnan is close. I'll give you that. When it comes to quips, Pierce Brosnan is like the second best. But easily, just the way that Roger Moore did the light-hearted side of Bond, he did it the best, and it made it like it's just an easy watch. It's just like a fun Sunday family watch. He's the family Bond, right? Then there's the more hardcore Bonds that are a little bit more like adult oriented. But the thing about Pierce Brosnan is most of his adult oriented Bond movies are shit. I'm sorry. Like GoldenEye was good, but the rest of them, they're not that great.
They were passable, but you can't blame him for the shitty movie, right? We're talking about okay, but that's what I'm saying. So GoldenEye, hands down, is his best one, and GoldenEye is hands down the best Bond movie.
Again, first of all, if you're gonna go for a hardcore action movie Bond, right, then License to Kill and fucking Casino Royale are way better than GoldenEye. They are.
No.
They are. Like in terms of hardcore, you know, this is like, you know, like rock and roll or heavy metal James Bond. Casino Royale and License to Kill are better.
Casino Royale's not even better than Diamonds Are Forever.
I don't know about that.
There's no point talking to you. This is what I'm saying.
I'm telling you, it's not even better than Diamonds Are Forever.
Look, Pierce Brosnan was basically the best of Sean Connery and the best of Roger Moore in one person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think about Pierce Brosnan. I just didn't see Pierce Brosnan as a good action guy. Even though GoldenEye to me, like Gonzo says, was probably the best Bond movie. My favorite Bond movie is Skyfall. It's my favorite. Not saying it was the best, but it was my favorite.
Will you agree with this, JG? Pierce Brosnan has all the qualities, the best qualities of every single Bond who's ever played James Bond.
Besides the action, yes. I think action-wise, I think
the action.
Craig was the best action James Bond. And what's his name? License to Kill guy. The other guy, I forget his name. We just said it.
Timothy Dalton.
They're probably neck and neck as far as the best action James Bond.
Right. But I'm saying that Pierce Brosnan has a little bit of all of them in him.
Oh yeah,
right?
I agree.
Got a little bit of Timothy. He's got a little bit of Craig, a little bit of Roger. Like he every single quality you expect of James Bond, he's got in him.
Yeah, that's why I think he's the best James Bond. Yeah.
But the problem is that those guys have those individual qualities do it a little bit better than Pierce Brosnan in the category that they're in. So in terms of quips, Roger Moore's better. In terms of just being a James Bond that's really believable, Daniel Craig is better. In terms of being, you know, like I guess suave, I'll give you this. I think he's better than Sean Connery.
Can we all agree though that George Lazenby was the worst Bond ever?
Yes.
Absolutely. George Lazenby. He didn't, yeah.
Hey there, we found common ground, people.
Well, the second worst would be Daniel Craig then.
Do you know what?
If you're talking James Bond, but
if you're talking about
Brosnan, Roger Moore, Sean Connery, Daniel Craig, and then the rest.
Sean Connery was a great representation of that 50s, 60s style James Bond. He was a great representation of that.
Who? Daniel Craig.
Sean Connery. When you go to the 50s and 60s or wherever Goldfinger came out, he was a great representation of that era.
Again, though, the problem I have with him is he hasn't got the posh accent, so it just immediately just disqualifies him. I can't.
That's almost like saying you got a very beautiful woman, but she has bad, ugly toes, so I don't want to deal with her.
That is a problem if she's got ugly toes, bro.
I don't care if she got ugly toes. That's the thing. Why am I looking at her feet? look at the totality of what he is, what he represents. Like Oscar said, I can't believe I'm agreeing with
See, Oscar knows this. Oscar
If
knows his shit because Brosnan was supposed to take over for Bond long before he did. But you're right, he was under contract with Remington Steele and he couldn't. So when he was finished with Remington Steele, he was the first choice to be Bond, and he had one of the best Bond movies ever. I agree.
Okay, I'm gonna respond to the Daniel Craig blasphemy here. All right, I will agree that he got worse and worse and worse. But really, it wasn't his performance, it was simply the movies. Just like Pierce Brosnan, he was always a good James Bond, but the movies sucked. I would say this: James Bond has had mostly very good actors that fit the role, right? I haven't seen many that didn't fit the role for me, you know. So it's hard to say like, oh, this James Bond was shit because they all brought something to the table. Apart from George Lazenby. So on that sense, I don't think it's fair to just shit on Craig because like some of his movies were bad. Even if you didn't like the take that he had in Casino Royale, say you didn't like the movie, he himself in that movie was good, and he brought a vulnerability to James Bond that we'd never seen before, and yet he was a fucking monster as well. He's like, I would not want to.
Nobody wants to see a vulnerable James Bond. That's one thing I didn't like about that movie. I'm like, this is fucking James Bond. Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit.
Why? Because he was a monster.
Because he wasn't the vulnerable. He wasn't James Bond. You never know James Bond to be vulnerable like that and shit. You know, all he cared about was that one woman. I'm like, no, James Bond is fucking all kinds of women. He didn't fuck about no one chick, man. And now we got this James Bond like almost drowning because of the chick. And I was like, oh, and I said it earlier, when you put the man's nuts, when you put him on the chair and you were swinging that fucking rope at his nuts, I am sorry, but any man, every man would have squealed like a motherfucking pig. They would have told every single bit of information that you wanted to know.
Okay, all right. So same thing with Sean Connery then with the lasers. Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he?
The lasers didn't touch him.
Okay, fair.
Fair. Okay. Lasers didn't touch him.
Touche. Listen, you're right. That would have been the most epic moment in James Bond history if he had have just gone, all right, don't hit me with the big.
Hey, I would have sat on that chair. I'd have been like, what are you doing? What are you doing with that rope? No, hold on. I'll tell you everything you want to know. Yes, MI6 is located here, and this is the leader, and this is that, and bro. Man,
that would have been hilarious. I have to admit, that would have been jokes.
One time I was holding my son, and he was no more than 1 year old, man. And his foot just grazed my nuts, and that shit hurt. Like, so I could just imagine what. No, sorry. I don't give a fuck who you are.
No, but he's still, the way he played that scene was still really good. Where he's like, oh, you know, you're gonna, everyone's gonna know that you died scratching my balls or whatever. And the thing that was good about that is he didn't get out of that by some weird James Bond fucking magic trick or whatever they usually do in the movies. It was purely by luck. And that's what I liked about that James Bond. Even though he was completely a fucking badass, he just runs through walls and shit like that, he still had limitations. He didn't have like this plot armor that you always have in these James Bond movies. He got fucked up many times, and he felt like he was actually in danger. It raised the stakes of that movie a lot. And then they just completely went against that in the next Daniel Craig movies.
Hold on.
That was his.
I'm gonna counter that because you said there's stakes and that he would, you would feel like he wasn't going to get out of a situation. When you take as much hits to your nutsack as he did and didn't squeal, and was able to walk away from that, then you know there was no stakes in that whatsoever.
Dude, come on. There's got to be some suspension of disbelief. I'm not saying like complete realism, but the fact is, like, when they got him when he was in the car, the fact that he nearly died when they poisoned him, all of those kind of elements of that film, as you're watching it, you feel like there is a real threat to James Bond. And most of the time, he didn't get out of it just because, like, oh, I'm going to do some cool James Bond shit that gets out of it.
Listen,
He got out of it purely by fucking luck. And I like that element of the movie. It wasn't.
Listen, I will accept any other method of torture, right, with him not squealing. But when you put your nutsack in that situation, I'm sorry. No.
This is what I'm talking about. You take one element of a movie and then you do it just because of one fucking. Okay,
well,
so
no,
the rest
it's not one element. There's other things
what else
I
is
didn't
bad
like
about the movie?
I just told you about the sensitive James Bond shit. I didn't like that.
What?
The sensitive James Bond shit. I didn't like that.
And what about Mads Mikkelsen as the villain? And what about the fight scenes? The fight choreography?
I think he was a little underused, but he was really good.
I think the best, I think, Daniel Craig fight scene was in Skyfall when they're in the building and it's like the silhouette of them fighting. I think that's the best fucking fight scene in a James Bond movie. Casino Royale, I wasn't impressed with anything. You know, even I think it's Skyfall, at the beginning of Skyfall, he's doing the fucking parkour through the shit. That was fucking lit. I was like, okay, this is how we started off. This was fire. But the rest of it,
Skyfall is again really. But Skyfall. The problem I have with it is I liked what they did in that first Bond movie where he was a little bit vulnerable and he wasn't just doing all the stupid James Bond stuff to get out of things. And then right in the beginning of Skyfall, a train splits apart. He jumps onto the platform, the floor of the train as it splits apart, and then does this thing with his tie, and it just lost me. I was just like, this. The thing I liked about this specific James Bond, that's something Roger Moore would do, right? What he does in the beginning of Skyfall, that was like some campy shit that Roger Moore would do. And
some shit like that in fucking Casino Royale too.
As an action scene, if you're just talking about completely because he's an action hero, he can do anything, then that's a really cool scene. But in terms of this specific James Bond, it felt like it was betraying what that James Bond was about. It was the same with the stuff he does in I think it was there was one after it where it starts off in Mexico and he's in a helicopter and suddenly he can ride a helicopter and he turns over backwards and all of that stuff. It's not consistent with what he was doing in Casino Royale. I think he just became a superhero again.
Well, in Casino Royale, James Bond, he wasn't 007 that long. He was still kind of green, right?
Let me hear Deej thoughts, and then I gotta go to bed soon, guys. But I want to hear what Deej has to say. Deej, what do you think about the conversation?
I'm just sitting back letting you guys go at it because I'm still sticking with Roger Moore as my favorite.
Roger Moore is the best. Definitely.
No.
Second best.
No, he's got the best amount. Like, if you look at the amount of enjoyable Roger Moore movies, it's better than anybody on the list. And, as I said, if I really thought about the qualities of what I expect in a total package as Bond, I just can't see how you can't go with Roger Moore. He's like debonair, suave, handsome. The way he fights is a little bit like, he's not like some, how would you say, like, there's a trickiness to him. There's an intelligence to his Bond that, it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna like beat the shit out of people. It's like that I don't know how to explain it. He just reminds me of what I think. When I think Bond, I think Roger Moore. And I don't think it's just because I was born around the time Roger Moore movies were coming out.
Yeah, Roger Moore's good. It's for me, it's Pierce Brosnan, Roger Moore, Sean Connery, Timothy Dalton, Daniel Craig, I guess, and then the other one.
I've got it Sean. Sorry, I've got it Roger.
You had it right first, Sean.
No, I've got it Roger, Craig, then Dalton, then Pierce Brosnan, then Sean Connery.
For me, it's Pierce Brosnan, Sean Connery, Timothy Dalton, Daniel Craig, then Roger Moore.
Shut the fuck.
Roger Moore. Let me tell you something. Saying Roger Moore, you're just all talking about I'm sucking Sean Connery dick. You're sucking Roger Moore dick because Roger Moore was a live and let die. I believe he's swinging across the window doing the whole little thing. Like, dude, what the fuck? That is cheesy. He is the cheese James Bond.
This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so Roger Moore. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Roger Moore used his wit to win fights rather than just beating the shit out of people, right? Everyone else tried that gimmick of Roger Moore apart from like Daniel Craig. Afterwards, everyone was trying to like outwit the guys, but the only one who did it with such, like he would outwit them and you could go along with it because he did it with a wink and a smile, right? So when he's in a car and he's driving and he does like some circle thing where the car circles over and still lands on its feet, if you do that and then you act like that's a serious thing, then there's a disconnect. You have to do that and act like it's like Roger Moore did, where it's kind of fucking silly. He does it with a smile on his face and he accepts the ridiculousness of what James Bond does, and it allows you to warm to him as a person. Whereas the rest of them play it like it's fucking serious, like somebody.
It's supposed to be serious. There are stakes involved. Roger Moore is nothing more than a spoof of what James Bond should be.
Yes, he did. And Deej, what's yours?
Well, no, technically, Roger Moore showed up as Roger Moore in the Cannonball Run, but he acted like Bond.
Yes.
Right.
And what's your ranking of the Bonds, Deej?
Do you get what I'm saying at all?
Wait, hold on, Nerdman.
All of the Bonds use their
Nerdman.
Stuff, right?
Nerdman, let Deej talk for a second.
But before I do my ranking, let me ask a little trivia question. I think Nerdman will be about the only one that gets this one 100% right. If you were to buy the entire Bond collection of movies, which ones wouldn't be included in it?
But which movies?
Yep.
On Her Majesty's Service?
No,
it would be included. I think the original Casino Royale, and then there's that one Sean Connery movie that was done while Roger Moore was
bingo. Nerdman got it. I knew he would. If you were to buy the entire Bond collection, you would not get Never Say Never Again, and you would not get the first Casino Royale.
Okay.
There were other production companies that did those two.
I got you. All right. And your ranking?
My ranking for personal, me, Roger Moore, number 1.
Good.
I would have to go with Sean Connery as number 2.
Really? Wow.
I would go Pierce Brosnan for number 3. Timothy Dalton, Daniel Craig, and then the guy that we shall never name.
Okay.
Can I ask what is it about Roger Moore that puts him as number 1 for you? I'm just curious.
Roger Moore, that's the Bond that I grew up with. That's
but
why
I know, like, he's the Bond I grew up with as well. I completely understand that. But what is it?
He's the one that exudes James Bond to me the best. The all-around package.
That's what.
When I think James Bond, I visualize right off the bat Roger Moore.
That's what I'm saying, and I don't. But I personally don't think that's because I grew up with him. I think it's something about the way he. I believe, like when he chats up a woman, you know, the way he goes about. Like, apart from when he was like too old, he should have given up like way earlier than he did. That's the one thing I don't like about Roger Moore. Like he was doing it in his 60s or something, and I was like, that's that shit stupid. But like when he chats up a girl, I believe he like the way he acts is like the charming British guys I see like from like that you actually meet. Like girls would fall for them. The one with a little bit of humor, a little bit cheeky, you know, like a good smile. Whereas the rest of them go on like they chat up these women, but they're like cold and they're, you know, they've got like they're humorless, and you know, it's just there's something about them that I don't believe as much as Roger Moore. I'm not saying they're bad, but I just think that in all of those things, he's the suavest, he's the funniest. You know, maybe he's not the most action oriented, but I don't know.
Well, you also got to remember when Sean Connery started out, it was like in his 60s. Dating, speaking with me, it was a whole different thing then. When Roger Moore came out, it was more, you know, it was just different times, right? And so you're saying you grew up Roger Moore. I grew up watching, well, of course, I was, you know, as a kid, but my parents always watched Sean Connery James Bond movies. So growing up watching Bond, I would always watch Sean Connery movies. When you constantly watching Sean Connery, then go to Roger Moore, there is a contrast.
I believe you, and I think some of Roger Moore's movies are the worst Bond movies. I completely agree with that. But it's the quality. What I'm talking about is the quality that he brings of one being quintessentially like posh English. He looks like he could be a prince or like somebody in the royal family, and that's what I imagine.
And granted, Moonraker is an absolutely cheesy Bond film, but it's still one of my favorites.
And I mean, that's fine. I mean, you know, this, whether we love a certain actor or not, we all got to admit Bond was the guy that women loved and men want to be.
Okay, wait. Can we bring up a picture of them, all of the Bonds? Because you've got the picture behind you. Can you bring up the picture and just be honest about this? I'm going to ask you one question, because what quality do you most associate with James Bond?
Pierce Brosnan.
No, what quality, not what actor. What quality do you think of
Class.
when you think of Bond? Class, yeah?
Yep.
Or suaveness, class. Okay. That is a terrible picture of Roger Moore.
It is actually.
No, I cannot win this.
Looked like he had a bad dye job. And
that is a really bad picture of Roger Moore.
He sort of looks constipated in that picture, let's be honest.
Yeah, he looks terrible in that picture. But what I was going to say is, when I think suave, when I think class, I just think Roger Moore is the... If I was to have a bet just looking at, like, you know, hearing them speak and act for a moment, like, which one of these guys went to Oxford? Which one of these guys, you know, hangs out with, like, hobnobs with the rich and, you know, whatever? I would pick Roger Moore. He just has that swag about him. He's authentic in that sense.
But you also got to remember this, nerd man. James Bond is also able to blend in with any group. That's what being a spy is about, you, the ability to blend in. I see Roger Moore being in these upscale, like you said, posh, kind of being with the Oxford grads and British royalty. I can see that. But when it comes down, get to the gritty stuff, you know, I just don't see him doing that. And when they put him in situations like that, it's not believable to me. He almost looks out of place. And even though Live and Let Die is my favorite Roger Moore movie, he looked out of place at times because you had the black exploitation thing going on too. And that's what kind of Live and Let Die kind of piggybacked off of that as well. He just looked out of place.
You're right in that sense. You know, and that's why on the other spectrum, on the complete other spectrum and side, I do appreciate Pierce and Dalton and Craig, because when it comes to who I think would be like tough and beat people up, Daniel Craig just does it. And the way Pierce Brosnan goes on, like when he's in that tank, just driving the tank, you can't beat that. That's just like one of those classic Bond images. And so I get it. I get what you're saying. I think each of them brings something. It's just that when I think of Bond, the way Deej says, I just somehow the image of Roger Moore just comes to mind. I just think of him as more the type of person who would have, you know, been that kind of posh English spy, I guess.
And with that being said, guys, I gotta go to bed. I gotta work tomorrow. So Deej, shout out your channel. Deej Bond.
I'm Bond, Deej Bond. I fight crime in a pink bunny suit. No, never mind. I just do this and that, and you can find me over there with Chris Knight too, doing Chatbox and Name That Tune over on Hunstar's channel. And occasionally here being threatened to be kicked off.
Yeah, when you make picks like you did tonight, damn right. Nerdman.
I'm on Hot Takes Tuesdays. I don't know what else to say. My channel is not really, I'm not really doing much with it at the moment, so there's nothing really to advertise.
Yeah, and when he comes back, you will all know, because you'll smell that stench of shit in the air, and you'll know Nerdman is streaming.
Shut the fuck! I come back just for that.
Yeah, you should. JG.
Wednesday nights on the OOC with the great Onzo, the great Roberto, and the always amazing, outstanding, spectacular, always man of the hour, Danny, aka Comic Chat. You can also find me with my brother from another mother, Superwise, talking that geek stuff that I love so much.
And I am Bigfoot Entertainment. I may do one on Friday, Nerdman, so set your alarm for that. But I'll send you a little message to let you know if I'm doing a tournament on Friday. If the weather, if it's rainy and nothing's going on, then yeah, we'll have one, and I'll send you the link. All right.
Nice.
With that being said, guys, peace out. See you on the next one.